Hi! In this video we'll take a closer look at a special light bulb. It is an odd but ingenious hybrid design. Unfortunately, it is currently being sold in different kits, where one of them is, well, mindless, to put it diplomatically. However, there is a lot of fascinating science going on inside this cheap and, at first glance, inconspicuous light bulb. Let us explore it. Avoid UVC radiation, it will ruin your DNA. And avoid lamps that will give you an electrical shock too. This is a UVC germicidal light bulb, rated at only 10 volts, 3 watts. It is a bit weird to find it for sale online in both a 230 volts AC kit and a 12 volts DC kit. I can understand this 12 volts version, but a 10 volts bulb running on 230 volts with no transformer. This is how it came delivered, only with a single capacitor in series as a ballast. Will this even work? I will use a Wi-Fi smart plug as a remote control to minimize my exposure to ultraviolet light. Here we go. Oh yeah, it kinda works. Did you notice the strange way this light bulb lights up in? The filament starts glowing red hot, like a regular old-fashioned incandescent bulb. But it stops glowing once a brighter glow forms at the top. The filament is still electrically connected in circuit, but does not seem to conduct the electrical current. Let's watch it in slow motion. Be aware of strobing light incoming. Quite a light show, but what are we watching? Two clues are visible to the keen eye. Unlike other incandescent bulbs, this one has drops of a liquid metal inside it. Probably mercury, since it is molten at room temperature and used in fluorescent tubes. The upper part of the filament wire, where the main output of light comes from, has a white coating. Again, something known from hot cathode fluorescent tubes. It is a fermionic coating that easily releases electrons when heated up. And the filament wire definitely heats up, as we can see, causing a fermionic emission of electrons from the coating into the mercury vapor. These electrons ionize the mercury vapor, creating a plasma that the electrical current can flow through. Exactly like in a fluorescent tube. That's why I call this a hybrid. It starts up as an incandescent where the current flows through the metal wire. As the metal filament heats up, more and more electrons are released from the coating until the mercury vapor is ionized enough to conduct the electricity better than the filament. The current then starts flowing through the plasma instead of the metal wire. The incandescent bulb has switched into a gas-discharge tube. A simple yet ingenious design in my opinion. The flickering is because it is running on AC power and only the negative pole, the cathode, is emitting electrons. Since the polarity alternates in AC, the two filament holders take turns on being the electron-emitting cathode. Regarding the white coating, I don't know exactly what it is made of, but from looking in some old research papers and patents, I guess it is barium oxide, calcium oxide and a third metal oxide. Probably aluminium oxide. Let me know in a comment if you know more about the coating used. What I can confirm for sure is the metal vapor inside the lamp, simply by letting a spectrometer look at the light emitted. But first, I will stop using this hazardous version. The issue is the lack of a bleeder resistor to discharge the capacitor. Let me demonstrate. If you break the circuit at the moment where the capacitor is fully charged, you can get zapped by over 300 volts just by touching the pins on the power plug. You'll only do that once. The bulb will even give you a burst of UVC from the discharge. just to spice things up a bit. Let's not do that again. I highly recommend staying far away from this version. I'll switch to the much safer 12 volts DC kit. Well, calling it a kit is polite. It is not plug and play, doesn't come with a transformer, but is still easy to get to work. Nice. But hold on, something seems off. On DC power, only the negative poles should light up. However, both poles light up, indicating AC, just without the flickering from AC, indicating DC. I am confused. What does this ballast do? It almost feels empty at 35 grams. Let's open it for a look inside. Aha! This electronic ballast is actually a Royal Oscillator. I only know because Big Clive has an excellent video on it, link in the description. This oscillator converts the 12 volts DC into 29,300 Hz AC. Explains why it lights up on both sides. It is still running on AC, even in the DC version, just at a much higher frequency than my camera will reveal. My camera easily catches the 50 Hz frequency in the AC version, where the polarity switches 100 times a second. Yes, I have counted it. It is nice to visually confirm that I have 50 Hz mains electricity in my home. But the almost 60,000 polarity switches a second in the DC-AC version, that requires a dedicated slow motion camera to be noticed. I don't have one, but I do have a spectrometer that will reveal what gases are inside this light bulb. Thank you so much to all my patrons helping me out each month to save up for the big purchases, like the spectrometer I will use next. In the future, I would like to have a slow motion camera and an infrared camera to improve on my videos. Help me fund them on my Patreon page. Just $1 from each of you makes a huge difference. Link to my Patreon page in the description. Thank you. Okay, let's find out what gases are inside it. It always creeps me out when I see the true output from UVC bulbs. All the visible light output that you clearly can see coming from the bulb is only these small photo peaks combined. Look how much more UVC output there is. Around 10 times more than the visible light makes you believe. These peaks are spectral lines from the gases inside the glass bulb. Many of them match very well with excited electrons in neutral mercury atoms that de-excite by emitting a photon. Light. It is a clear fingerprint matching mercury in the ultraviolet and visible range. Hardly a surprise after seeing the condensed droplets of a liquid metal on the inside of the glass. Now we know for sure, but there are some infrared peaks that can't come from mercury. Many of them match up with argon instead. The argon gas is added since it is the cheapest inert noble gas and has a lot of advantages in a gas-discharge lamp. I have listed some here. Great! Hope you enjoyed this video enough to spend a second on clicking like. It would make my day. Maybe even subscribe to unmiss my next video. While you wait for that one, I have a publicly available video and poll on Patreon about my video's color profile. Feel free to chime in. In any case, thanks for watching. Bye for now.